Hi, this is Mr. Petito, and today I'm going to show you how to use the accessibility features on your iPad. The accessibility features are supposed to be used for those who have accommodations, those who are visually impaired, who need some assistive touch, who have hearing accommodations, or so forth. However, there are some useful tools within these accessibility settings that you can use regardless. The first one I want to talk about here is Voiceover. Voiceover is particularly used when you have a visual impairment and need to be able to touch areas of the screen and have it speak what it is that you're touching. This is probably the one feature that I see accidentally enabled most often. So if ever you see that the areas you're touching have these boxes around it and your iPad is speaking what it is that you're selecting, chances are you have VoiceOver turned on. Okay, and to disable it, you have to double tap in order to activate anything. So I have to double tap OK, and then double tap Options. All right. Zoom is particularly useful if you need to enlarge in parts of the screen, and you can enable zoom and then double tap with 3 fingers to act like a magnifying glass over certain parts of the screen. And you can drag it around like a magnifying glass. And then triple tap again to disable. Magnifier lets you have a magnifying glass by triple clicking the home button when you're in the camera app. For example, I can open up the camera, and if I triple click the home button, I now go into magnifying glass mode, and I can increase up to 500 times zoom. And then press the home button again to exit. Display accommodations lets you invert colors, add color filters, or change auto brightness. A useful one is speech. Enabling speak selection will let you hear what you're selecting on a page. For example, I can come over here to Safari and access an article. As a hint, if you want just the article without all the other fluff around it, enable reader mode to get just the text. And now if I select, I'll have an option for speak. If I tap speak, then Siri will read the article to me. Likewise, instead of speak selection, I have the option to speak screen, which will, if I swipe down with 2 fingers from the top of the screen, I'll hear the entire content of the screen. And again, particularly useful when you're in reader mode because you don't want your iPad reading all the menu items and the advertisements and everything before you even get to your article, right? Enable reader mode, and then swipe down with 2 fingers, and then it will speak what's in Safari for you. And then here you can speed it up or slow it down, pause. You can move this around, minimize it, open it back up again, close it down. That's really good if you need to hear what's on a page. Particularly useful if you need to hear like an article that's being read, and then you can go into a different app and maybe note take as you're listening as well. You also have the option to changing your font, so I can then change my text to be larger or smaller. I can make text bold. I can increase the contrast. Reducing motion will eliminate all of the motion effects when you're minimizing. So for example, if I go home again, you see it'll fade in and out rather than doing the minimize to the dock and then back open again. And lastly, the on-off labels are for these different toggles that I'm doing, right? You see that I can have an on and off. Off is the 0, on is a 1. If I enable on-off labels, and all of my toggles will have the 0s or the 1s. And that's it.